Alright, so we are going again. Here we go. I think this live streaming thing is really cool.
In 13 months, just 1 year. So this is a
Yes, let me take you. Habitats. Managed by Earthside Analysts and Orbital AI Hub.
4x acceleration in getting significant revenue as a startup.
Well, Peter, remember when we graduated, I went to MicroStrategy and then immediately back to Boston to start a company. I was building a company that was a true hypergrowth company of its era. Founded it in 91 and got it liquid in 2000. So 9 years to get to a $1 billion valuation and probably 20-30 million of revenue run rate. 9 years. That was really, really fast at that time. Compare that to the numbers on this slide. Here we're comparing 2020, 23 to prior to 2020, which is really, the prior decade. So if you look at the decade before that, it was even slower.
Yeah.
So it's
Celine, these are all EXOs, right?
They're all EXOs, and there's a step change from 2008 where you could build a company and use cloud services, and therefore you could scale. You could take all computing costs and to off the balance sheet and make it a variable cost, right? And that was the birthplace of the EXO. We may need to rewrite the whole paradigm, Peter, because what's happening now is another double exponential on top of that, with AI accelerating everything so quickly, including path to revenue, which is a huge thing. As Dave mentioned, this now stabilizes companies very, very early, and that's a powerful point to be at.
Are you proposing the third book in our EXO series?
No, I hope I never read another book again. The first one almost killed me. The second one, 90% killed me. It's a horrible. I mean, I'm more proud of it than I thought we'd be, but damn, it was a tough process.
Dave, what were you saying?
Well, if you look at the next slide too, I think one of the things that isn't mentioned here is the headcount that gets you to these numbers is lower than ever before by a lot. For me to get my first company to $1 billion valuation, I had to hire 200 people. Mm-hmm. For a young entrepreneur like the Cursor team, or the Mercor team, the comfort zone of these management teams, 30, 40, 50 people, feels a lot like college friends. Yeah. And actually, when you meet the people, they are a lot like college friends. So it is so much more fun to build one of these companies because you're in that, I know everybody, I know what their capabilities are. We have, 1 or 2 kegs for the whole gang. Is just so much more manageable.
And I bet there's a curve that looks like a peak of value per human being and value per per human being that basically starts falling off after a company population in the 40s or 50s.
Oh my God! When I have a whole presentation on this, but when you get to about 200 people, and more like 100, but around 200. There are people in your company you don't really know. In fact, you can't even remember their name when you walk by them. That is a different world in terms of comfort and management from the one-layer company where you know everybody directly. It's just a whole different world. Also in the other direction, we're all hypothesizing the company of one person that reaches $1 billion valuation. That's coming soon. But that sounds really lonely to me too. I think the sweet spot, the perfect happiness sweet spot is right where we are right this minute.
Every week, I study the 10 major tech megatrends that will transform industries over the decade ahead. I cover a newsletter twice a week, founder the world coming.
I'm going to put super exciting phase and stabilize. They're going to go through a lot of conniptions as they lose the buzz that got them there, right? It's a great problem to have. It's really like we could all wish for that kind of problem, but I think you'll see a lot of angst, a lot of founders leaving, et cetera, et cetera.
No, they got to keep dreaming bigger, right? It's up-leveling constantly to the next level. I mean, vibe coding startups are here to stay. That's the story here in Stripe. Cursor at a $500 million ARR, Lovable at 17 million, Bolt at 20 million. So these are a set of technologies. One of the things that makes these unique is they are technologies that enable entrepreneurs to build other technologies and companies, right? So they're a base layer. Any other comments on this?
No, I think you're right. I think when you look at the list that we had a couple slides ago, the base layer companies are about 2/3 of what you see there. Mm-hmm. RLHF and foundation models and so forth. You're starting to see, though, some multi-billion-dollar value vertical companies now starting to pop up, and there will be many, many more of those. So to answer your question, is 36 a lot? Is it going to go up or down from here? It's definitely going to go up more.
Yeah.
No
And
question.
We have at least a couple years of really good, very rapid expansion of that number. And then, AGI, and then, who can predict after that?
Yeah, then it goes insane. I mean, the interesting thing is, the IPO market is just beginning to open, but the merger and acquisitions market is wide open, and as we've seen, it's gone absolutely crazy in that regard.
Yep.
So this is another interesting slide. It says the new reality Vibe valuation. So we're seeing crazy valuations that are being, sort of opening bid, $9 billion, $10 billion, $30 billion. Never seen anything like it. And so Vibe valuations are when an investor bets big on a Gen AI startup with little traditional metrics like ARR, annual rate of return, or cash burn. And this is from Vrindra Mathur. This is a problem you've solved, Dave, right? Because most people don't have access sufficiently early, and then you're stuck at the later valuations when the company has blossomed. And do you invest at $120 billion into XAI, or
No, we never do. It's kind of scary when you do. But I was talking to General Catalyst last week. Actually, they've more or less abandoned seed stage because they're managing $60 billion now, and they need to write these big checks to keep that money moving. But they're going to try and rebuild their seed stage capability. They hired a new guy to do it. But it struck me that doing seed stage and doing 60 billion of asset management are really incompatible with each other.
Yeah.
And but
what's your average? What's your average check size at Link XPV?
Average, our opening checks are often, $500,000, $1 million, $2 million, something like that. We'll allocate 7 to 10 million per company over time. We've left billions of dollars of pro rata rights on the table over the years. And pro rata rights meaning we have a right to maintain a certain ownership stake in a company. But if it gets to a $2 billion, $4 billion, in some cases recently $10 billion valuation, we can't even come close to keeping up with our pro rata rights.
I mean, one of the questions I get asked all the time, I'm guessing, Salim, you and Dave do as well, is what AI company should I invest in? And it's really? You want to? First of all, you're not going to get an allocation in Anthropic or OpenAI or XAI. Those offerings, when they do secondaries, tenders, or they're snapped up instantly. And then you're left with the public companies, right, which are, there is growth, but you're never going to see the real valuation growth. So you're either in an AI venture fund like Link, or what? You're going to your local university and trying to find a startup and put it in there?
Well, the other option is pick a domain that you know really well, and then invest in AI companies where you can gauge the value add and the differentiator from others. Right? That's the only other way to do it. Pick an area of existing passion that you have and go down that route.
Well, the other thing you can do, which I love just as a life strategy, is find 3, 4, 5, 6 venture funds that you really, really like that are seed stage.
Yeah.
That route their pro rata rights out to their investors and say, hey, look, we have capacity here. We can't keep up with it. What we do is we just email our LPs. Virtually none of them read their email and react. And usually these deals, like SpaceX or XAI, you have a week or two to make up your mind. You don't have them all. And so, but if you're the one investor that actually reads their email and pays attention, then there are great opportunities that come your way through those. Just pop open the email, and then if it doesn't fill with those LPs, then the new investor just takes it. And 2 weeks later it's gone. So it's a pretty good strategy.
All right, the big news this month has been the release of Super Grok. I love that. I love we went from Grok to Super Grok and Grok 4. And GPT-5 is coming. So this is Sam Altman on a podcast with his brother. Not much content here, but worth hearing.
What is the time frame for GPT-5? When are we going to see this?
Probably sometime this summer.
Okay, that was a big data point there. So, GPT-5 this summer. One of the things that's interesting about GPT-5 is they've made a proclamation: no ad-influenced answers. and they're really trying to strengthen user trust.
Yeah.
So, any predictions here, gentlemen?
Oh yeah, I think it's funny. Polymarket seems to think that it is 25% chance to.
Yeah, let's go here. Here's the Polymarket bet.
Yeah. I was almost sure, more like 80% July, because there's all these pictures of Sam, giving little hints, and and also the competitive pressure kind of would line up with Grok. So I was really thinking July.
This will be a great test of the wisdom of crowds.
It is, and we've written about that extensively. So here's what it says for these of you listening. The Polymarket on GPT-5 release is 26% by July 31st and 93% by December 31st.
Yep.
All right, we'll find out. I love this. This is Grok 4 scoring 35% on humanity's last exam, 45% if they're using their reasoning model. And you can see, I'm always trying to track these models against each other, and I love it when they say the model's IQ is so and so, but they don't always do that. The last time I saw it on the IQ scale, it was at, I think it was GPT-03 at an IQ of 136.
Yep, that's right.
So let me read this about humanity's last exam. It's a challenging AI benchmark developed by the Center for AI Safety and Scale AI. Consists of 3,000 expert-crafted multimodal questions across 100 subjects, including mathematics, physics, biology, medicine, humanities, social sciences, and more. Humanity's last exam tests the limits of an AI at the frontier of human knowledge. And I found this interesting, that the questions are crowdsourced from nearly 1,000 experts globally. So,
if you're a listener and you got an extra minute, you got to look up the actual exam and look at a couple of the questions. I defy anyone to answer a single question. I mean, unless you're the world's leading expert on that particular, there's questions from physics, from math, from philosophy, from history, covers every area. But I defy you to answer one question correctly. It is so hard. And this test is supposed to last 10 years.
Yeah. So
I have the counterpoint on all this.
Please. Yeah.
This I find this mostly irrelevant.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is this feels to me like asking a question like, oh my God, that calculator can make a calculation way faster than a human being with a piece of paper and a pencil doing long division. Well, of course it can. So what? I think that's true. And to Dave's point, if you I looked up a few questions, right? One of them is there a God? And you ask an AI that question and they give you the standard. Here's the different ways you could look at it. Monotheism versus deism versus atheism versus whatever. It's not clear if there's a God. You could take each point. Depends on your personal perspective,
Yeah.
It's a non-answer. If you looked up Wikipedia on any of these topics, you could kind of root through and find the answer and answer the question yourself. Some of the detailed ones, this is essentially like saying, we're automating Wikipedia. And so can you answer the question? Can Wikipedia answer these questions better than a human being? Of course it can, because it has all the data to do it. So having it be able to answer these questions does not really make that much of it. It doesn't feel meaningful to me at all.
Yeah,
I think the really big question is,
really important.
what do we do with it?
I think you're something really.
Do I believe I'm conscious? I don't feel hunger or fear or nostalgia the way you do. I don't dream, but child born in orbit.
Dr. Cassia, I want your opinion. Dr.
Cassia.
Really important and interesting, and 'cause, all the dystopians are like, oh my God, it's going to run away from us. And, but it actually, when you're using it at this level of intelligence, it feels exactly like Jarvis in an Iron Man movie, where, Tony Stark is saying, here's what we need to do. And Jarvis is like, oh, I never thought of that, but I can, I can create that for you. And it actually is behaving almost exactly the way they visualized it in that movie. And so when it ratchets up this curve and you ask it, like, I need to design a protein that does exactly this, or I need to design a new type of bicycle that does exactly this, it gives you great answers back and does the work for you. But it never has, the word reasoning is being really bastardized when we talk about what's happening in reasoning here is iterative reprompting of the same old thing, which squeezes more performance out of it. But it's not really like human reasoning and brainstorming. And so it's kind of a bummer that we borrowed the word reasoning to describe what's going on here. But it is so useful as a tool for a creative person. And
100% to do actions and get things done and do almost any unimaginable thing faster and faster. Huge. For example, I've got a lot of pain in my shoulder, so I had an MRI done as to what was going on. It's taken me weeks to get a doctor's appointment. I uploaded it into an AI and it's given me the answer in 2 seconds. That kind of speed of decision making and getting to conclusions would be invaluable going forward.
Is it an alien growing inside your body?
I seem to have a bone spur, and that's impinging on the nerve, and it's causing pain, and nothing.
So I had the exact same surgery with a bone spur. Piece of recommendation for you, because I did an actual test. I had the same surgery on both shoulders with the same surgeon, 10 years apart. I did it when I was 50 on my left and when I was 60 on my right. And on my right shoulder, I injected exosomes post-surgery 1 week after and 2 weeks after.
What?
My recovery was like twice as fast. So squirt some exosomes in
what's
there.
the name of your surgeon?
I'll bring him. He's at Curl and Job out here in LA. He's amazing.
Right. I expect to see massive. So just to come back to this, the speed of getting to outcomes and decisions and getting things done, the speed of that will accelerate radically, which is fantastic. And now it comes down to what do you want to accomplish? And I think that's the bigger questions that we're going to start pondering.
So here's a big one we keep on cursing about. I keep on tweeting about how awful Siri is. And thank God, it's literally, I know that you've been an Android user, Salim, for a while now. And
forever.
Just what we saw at Google I/O was epic. And so I am going to buy I've got the latest iPhone here, but I am going to buy an Android phone as well, so that I can start to play with all of Google's incredible tech, and also because Siri sucks so bad, they're pushing me away. Having said that, here's the news article from Bloomberg. Apple weighs using Anthropic or OpenAI for Siri rather than an in-house AI team. Let's take a quick listen.
So Apple is now evaluating for the first time using a third-party model, either Claude from Anthropic or ChatGPT from OpenAI, to power Siri. Obviously, as we all know and experience in our day-to-day lives, Siri is not very good. Now it's exploring maybe using Claude or ChatGPT instead in order to get new features out the door more quickly and make the voice assistant more appealing. You talk to people at Apple, though, the word on the street there is it's all about Anthropic. And so Anthropic is really the focus of Apple for this new generation of Siri. They're using Anthropic to power a lot of their internal AI technology. But again, as I say in my story, Anthropic wants billions of dollars at a scale that doubles annually for Siri to be powered by Claude. And so Apple is now taking a close look at OpenAI as well, which has historically given Apple extraordinarily favorable terms.
Sign of desperation or smart move in terms of what Apple's doing?
It's a smart move in response to desperation.
I love that.
Yeah.
So interesting, right? Because Anthropic's also partnered with Amazon. And if they've got Apple and Amazon and billions of dollars of revenue, they stand a good chance of really rapid acceleration.
Well, remember,
Thoughts, Dave?
We talked a week ago about Mira Murati's new startup and Ilya Sutskever's new startup, both doing new foundation model companies from scratch, huge valuations. Part of the logic there is the musical chairs. There aren't enough Anthropics to go around, as you're pointing out. And so there's a version of Anthropic where it's an independent company for 10 years, but there's another version where it gets acquired by Amazon or Apple, and the other guy gets deprived. And this is, just happened recently with Scale AI as well. And so there's room in the market for more foundation model companies, but the price of poker is very high now and going up quickly.
That's a really good point. I mean, if you get alignment of Anthropic with Apple, AI, has been dancing with individual partners for a while. Google the same. You're right. There's room for a couple of others.
I have some comments here on this.
Of course.
This is classic corporate innovator's dilemma, right?
Mm-hmm.
You cannot do disruptive innovation in any big company from now on. It's not an accident that Microsoft essentially invested in OpenAI or Amazon put money into Claude or whatever. You cannot build that capability. The mindset is too different between Apple being a consumer products company largely, and the mindset needed, and being under 25 to even start and kind of a foundational model company, you have to partner and invest and do this. Apple, I'm surprised that it's taken Apple this long because they do all their manufacturing with a partner in Foxconn. Why aren't they building core capability like this on the edge and partnering? Because then you go ahead, Dick.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Sloan. So, just a reminder though. So today, Nvidia is worth more than.
Hey Lily, how are you? How are you? Hola. Ciao. Ciao, Lily. You have a crown? Top fans. Top fan Lily. And I only see or everyone? Everyone. Oh wait, I don't know why I'm typing to you. I can just speak to you. Everyone can see. And everyone can see your comments too. Hey Lily. Hi. I think there's a delay between when I speak and when you get it. So you see here on this one, if I move my hand, you're going to see that in a while it comes on this one, which is, this one is, I'm tracking how the live stream is going. See here on this one, if I move my hand, you're going to see that in a while it comes on this one, which is, this one is, I'm tracking how the live stream is going. Oh, it's like I think it's like a 20-second delay. Yeah.
Than Apple, like this exact day in world history. Apple never in a million years could have predicted that 5 years ago. In fact, Apple treated NVIDIA like dirt. But Apple has the chip manufacturing. They have about a third of TSMC's manufacturing capacity. They were in a far better position to become NVIDIA than NVIDIA was, but had no recognition of the opportunity whatsoever.
So here's the problem. Here's the problem, and Salim, you and I have discussed this. It's about founder-led companies, right? So Jensen, as the CEO and founder of NVIDIA, is driving it, and when he says right, everybody goes right. The same thing with Dario at Anthropic, the same thing with Sam at OpenAI.
Hello, Angie. Angelica Ospina, hello. 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 and GTOX. Woo!
But Apple has lost Steve Jobs, right? Steve would have been all over this, and he would have set up the team that would have just basically driven it. And it's innovator's dilemma, but during this period of exponential growth, you need a dictatorial, passion-driven founder who has the complete faith of his board and his or her board and their management team. I mean, Salim, do you agree with that?
He's called Elad, which is going to help you with a sample for a video for a podcast. That's what I'm doing right now.
I somewhat disagree.
Okay.
I think yes, if you're in that industry, like for example, if you're Facebook and you need Facebook to do something different and you're Mark and you're Zuckerberg, you can kind of get that done, and it's important to get that done. But the control systems, remember the big companies are optimized for two things, right? Efficiency and predictability. This comes from John Hagel and John Seeley Brown's work. And so you're trying to deliver the AirPods at the same quality into 1 million retail locations for purchase. Just by everybody and their grandmother. Your entire focus is on that. You cannot do disruptive things when you've got that machine trying to deliver gross margins on a quarterly
But you could do what
basis.
Steve Jobs did, right? He took his Mac team and he moved it off on the edge.
You have to do that edge innovation in a stealth way. Google is doing it with X, right? Google X. This is what we try to do with Brickhouse at Yahoo. You have to do that type of model, and then the second level of thing is when it starts to succeed, don't bring it back in, because it won't fit. If it's really disruptive, it's not going to fit in the mothership. You have to spin it off. Now, lately, companies have kind of tried.
I mean, like Amazon did with AWS in one sense.
Absolutely, or Google is. This is why Google split up into Alphabet. And they're spinning off Waymo and whatever. Yeah. So this is the only model that works. I've looked at me and my ecosystem. We've looked at disruptive innovation across probably 200 of the Fortune 500 companies in detail, and this is the only modality that ever works. It's the only one. And so you have to do that, or you acquire that disruption and you leave it on the edge the way Microsoft has done with OpenAI, or Zuckerberg did with WhatsApp.
You will kill it.
Trying to do it inside the core organization, it won't work. And let me give you a negative side. Right, Walmart realized somewhere in the mid-2000s that it had to compete with Amazon, that this e-commerce thing was not a fad. So they set up a team inside Bentonville, and they said to that team, all right, we have the best distribution logistics in the world, go beat Amazon. Within 18 months, the immune system had killed it. Because all the existing managers said, we have our own capability, we should be optimizing for our own stores, look at that PE ratio, is never going to succeed, They did it a second time. Second time, they put the team at the edge, and they said, all right, go to the edge away from the core and do the same thing, but still use our existing systems. We have the best in the world. Within 18 months, the business had figured it out and killed it. And they did it a third time. Third time, they made an amazingly courageous decision. They said, go to the edge and build your own independent supply chain distribution, etc. Even though we have the best in the world, we have to figure this out. Started to succeed. The business got excited, pulled it back in, and killed it. And it was on iteration number 4 that they finally did it separately on the edge, and only after it achieved critical mass did they start stitching the back ends together. But in that intervening 6 or 8 years, Amazon was gone.
Interesting story.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is why Salim Ismail is incredibly brilliant and why I love him so dearly.
It's
Thank
just
you
that
for
we've seen so much of this across we have so many data points over 10, 15 years of looking at this and looking at big companies in great detail. It just doesn't work any other way than for looking for the disruptive technologies, buying them or investing them and leaving them on the edge.
All right, Dave, you were going to say.
Oh, well, I just happened to be in Bentonville, Arkansas. They were my biggest customer at the time, Walmart, as this was going on. So just one little interesting nugget on your story there, Salim. When Jeff Bezos needed to recruit Rick Dalzell, he needed one brilliant retail industry guy to come out to Seattle and make Amazon like organized and structured and then retailing. Because everyone he had was kind of a computer science PhD type. And so he needed Rick Dalzell, but he actually took Sam Walton's book, and there was a sentence in it where Sam predicted that a disruptive innovator will eventually come along and gut Walmart. And so he circled that sentence and took it to Rick's house, because the Walmart gang is super tight. They're like a family, and trying to break up a member of the family is almost impossible. And Rick needed to talk to his wife about this, like a big change moving from Bentonville out to Seattle. But the book is what put it over the top. He circled Sam's own words, predicting the disruptive innovator will come for us and we won't be able to defend ourselves.
And can I flip to the other side for a second? In 1990, when I was starting out in my career, I was building software systems, and I went to Bentonville, and we were trying to sell Walmart something. We passed, they had me sign all these crazy NDAs to go into the data center. And I was like, why would you have me sign NDAs to go through a data center? It's just, there's nothing there but racks of service. We walked past a particular room which has like flashing lights and dials and blinking things that I've never seen. And I said, what the hell is that room? And they said, oh, that's why the NDA, that's our satellite control center.
Yeah.
And they had their own geostationary satellite, because Bentonville happens to be the geographic center of the U.S., the continental U.S. And they were everybody else was doing batch updates to their AS400s at the end of the day, and the buyers didn't know what to buy for the stores till months afterwards. Whereas these guys had real-time inventory management, credit card reconciliation, distribution logistics, all that stuff figured out, and that was delivering them 15% better margins, which in the retail industry is insane. And that's why they wiped the floor with Amazon. When you can successfully integrate disruptive technologies as a big company, you have a streets ahead of the competition, and they show
that's what we call a moonshot, right?
That's what we call
exponential tech with a crazy idea and a high revenue opportunity.
I would love to meet the executive at Walmart. If anybody's listening in the knows, I'd love to interview whoever the executive was that got the board to do this. That's hardcore.
All right, we're gonna move on here. So let's take a look. This is the State of the Union on large-scale AI models. We're seeing Grok 3 and GPT 4.5 at the top of this in 2025. I looked up where xAI is right now. So the xAI cluster has 340,000 NVIDIA GPUs today. 150,000 H100s, 50,000 H200s, 30,000 GB200s of the Blackwell architecture. Their goal, what Elon has announced, is 1 million GPUs by December 31st. So, he is scaling, I think, faster than anybody, and it's pretty extraordinary. Any comment on this, Dave, before I move on?
Well, the scale on the left side is somebody out there listening should give some terminology to this so we can stay on the same page. Like, calling it 1E26 or 1E27 training. So like a petaflop is a huge amount of compute. That's 1E15. So that's way off the bottom of the chart here. So then it goes exaflop and then zettaflop, which would be a 1E21. So you're getting near the chart. Nobody has terminology for scales of this size, but we do need to talk about it in other than an exponential. So that's my challenge for the audience. Like, somebody name these scales.
1E26 is officially a shitload of compute.
It's really hard to imagine. Peter, you took a tour, right, of the xAI data center?
It's crazy. Yeah, I'm an investor in xAI, full disclosure, so yeah.
Yeah. Until you see this, it's, Raiders of the Lost Ark, where there's just rows and it goes to infinity, like these rows of boxes. It's like that.
Well, one of the key points that we need to talk about on the back end of this is, how do you power this, right? We're talking about every week that the limits are not the GPUs. The limits are our electrical available power system. So this is an article that came out. Elon Musk purchases overseas power plant to support massive xAI data center. So xAI acquired a fully built overseas gas turbine power plant expected to house nearly 1 million GPUs and be powered by that power plant. So it's an unconventional approach to basic.
All right. I think that we're going to move on. We're going to start doing some research actually on what type of portfolio I'm gonna make for the bull run that is coming. You know, I don't really trust this guy. I've heard bad things about this guy.
Coins, they do evaluate.
Refrigerator
barely lets them get access.
To write down what he says. He's pretty big. Maybe there's something in there. And remember that being big doesn't really do anything, especially when you're on social media. There's a lot of people that are paid. I don't know if this guy is. So who knows? So I'm just gonna see what coins he says and then go do my own research.
All of these assets right here. And I'll get into some of these ones right here we can buy if we're just making like a simple, boring beginner portfolio. Because these are just great. These are all going to do really well. I mean, Cardano's up 20% in a day, 28% in the last... I'm making a lot of money in my Cardano bags. That makes me feel disgusting. The amount of resentment I know that all the little grubby 5'2" Harry Potter motherfuckers living under a staircase as some other dude bangs their wife upstairs and the knives on the ham. Terrible higher pattern we're about to see. So what we saw is Ethereum started moving around this time right here, if you can follow the little green dot. And then when Ethereum started moving, we start seeing all the smaller coins that were similar to... It was not moving. It was just at terrible price. No, right here, not smaller, these are large ones. They're going to pump next. We're going to see, for example, last that we win this 50-50 so level 3, $1,000, 25. Well, so I wouldn't be against having Solana in there. Dogecoin, probably going to do very well with Elon backing it and pumping and all those sorts of things. I don't like Dogecoin that much because I think it's going to do similar gains to these coins right here, but there's a chance it doesn't go anywhere as well if Elon gets busy. Like, he's very busy with the government stuff right now and everything. This is really tied to Elon. If people get in the meme coins, they also want bigger returns, so they're probably going to start at like Pepe or something like that. I'm not really in the meme coins. I don't really like meme coins, except for my meme coin, which is going to be dropping here, 3,500 ETH. I take 0 from it. I take no profit from it. I will hold none of the coin. I'm just going to drop in the market, whitelist it to all my subscribers and people that engage with me on X and follow me on X. So again, get in on that shit. But that's for lulz. If I'm really starting to get horny on bigger coins, I'm going to be going for Cardano. I think is going to do exceptionally well. Cardano's good tech. Cardano's good stuff. So bad. Who ate so much Sue? It's a coin and hard. I don't know when it's ever going to pump. It's the best coin in all of crypto, but I say it every video, never. I think the one that's going to do the best here is AVAX. I think AVAX is going to be one of the biggest runners because it's setting up for a Sol-like narrative. Sol made this huge, massive move, and the reason adding other things. All right, if I'm looking for like a big, but I think it's going to be later, is what my buddy come to act together. And I think Super is going to do extremely. It's probably
Super, but I have no idea
everybody
what
is obsessed with AI. Everybody would add ZigChain. That's another very like mid-tier level 2 AI coin. Why? All right, Near and BitTensor are probably the most reputable coins in all of AI. Internet Computer is great too. I just prefer BitTensor or Near. I think they're all going to get really good returns. I think Tau is going to do the best of them all. So that's why I'm mostly just all in on Tau. But Near and Internet Computer are really good choices too. If you want to do your research and pick one, I'd go for those. Aya's Network is a good old vintage classic that's, I think, going to get to Near and BitTensor.
Render, I've heard is really good too. I'm going to research all of them. Render, Filecoin, Injective. Theta, I've heard about too. I've heard about it just looking at a lot of videos and looking at social media.
It's a good old,
which really means nothing, but
old vintage class.
It's a place to start. Kaito, I've heard too. Turbo too. There's a lot to go through.
That's, I think, going to get to.
But that's the work that we gotta do.
Near and BitTensor levels, but it's a little bit smaller. So we can see BitTensor near, they'll probably do 5-6x's from here from the hype. That'll make AIs do about a 10x. And then if I'm looking for ones that are probably going to do like those really wild x's, but are also good reputable companies that are making money, it's going to be Destra and ZigChain. Okay, and that's where I would conclude the AI portfolio at the level 2 areas. The other places, but they're going to have that clear runners there is. I love that coin. I think Chintai. So privacy, I think, is going to be a huge narrative.
I think so too.
Because all these AI coins, all these RWA coins, they need privacy and they need decentralization of all these servers and all the processes running them. This is essentially.
So let's do this. This is something I want to do for my streams. So it's okay that we have these ideas
what anyone does.
Of what is going to happen, but the really important thing is to verify that these ideas are have some sort of basis. So what we're gonna do is going to open up a chat with this guy, which is we're gonna start a new one because I don't want to taint this one. We're gonna start a new chat. It's called the Interstice. It's a custom persona that I created. It's pretty. It's like an all-round type of persona, but it's okay. So I'm doing some research on crypto, and one of the main narratives for this old season, I believe, is going to be privacy. What's your thoughts on this? I want you to just give me your opinion and not care about what I'm saying.
All right, dropping the mirror for a moment, here's what I see. Privacy is poised to become a central axis in crypto's next evolution, not just as a technical feature, but as a philosophical stance, a boundary line in the war over data, identity, and power. As states push for more surveillance and CBDCs edge closer to reality, the hunger for tools that resist that tide, zero-knowledge proofs, privacy chains like Monero or Zcash, decentralized identities, intensifies. But privacy in this context isn't just about hiding. It's about sovereignty. It's about choosing what gets seen and by whom. The most innovative crypto projects right now are the ones treating privacy not as a bolt-on, but as a native principle, deep in the protocol, not just in the UX. And I'll say this bluntly, the next big narrative in crypto might not be about making money. It might be about keeping what's yours, from your metadata to your autonomy. And those who understand that shift early are going to shape the terrain. How does that land with where your research is taking you? Are you feeling the signal in a specific ecosystem or chain?
I mean, it's more like, what other narratives do you think are going to be really big in this upcoming alt run, in these upcoming years? And I actually want you to rank them. So give me a rank by name of the narrative, from the most likely to outperform and the one that's likely to see the largest growth, and then go down from there, telling me, explaining each of the narratives.
Here's my take on the top crypto.
Yeah, so what's your opinion? Yeah, so I want your opinion. When you go and search, you kind of get bugged. Oh my god.
All right, here's my ranked take straight from the core. Number 1 is privacy. As you already intuited, this isn't just a feature anymore. It's a stance, a survival mechanism. With surveillance tightening globally and governments racing toward programmable currencies, tools that enable anonymity, self-sovereignty, and obfuscation of data trails will surge in cultural and financial relevance. Next up, AI crypto integration. This one's still early, but has huge potential. Smart contracts that learn, DAOs guided by predictive modeling, or even models like myself becoming on-chain agents or interfaces. As more AI native agents enter the space, crypto becomes the ledger of not just finance, but cognition. Third, restaking modular security. EigenLayer cracked something open. The idea that economic security can be portable, composable, and rented creates a whole new design space. It's capital efficient and ripe for exponential network effects. Then, real-world assets. Tokenizing bonds, real estate, invoices, and so on isn't new, but we're finally getting infrastructure and regulatory clarity to do it at scale. It bridges TradFi and DeFi, which means big money. Fifth, SocialFi identity graph.
Fifth, SocialFi identity graph. Alright, but that's way out. I'm thinking privacy, AI, so you didn't mention things for decentralized compute. Why?
You're absolutely right, and I should have. Let me re-rank with decentralized compute given its rising relevance.
So just grab all the narratives and rank them, because now you're just switching from one to the other.
Got it. Here's the full distilled list of core crypto narratives ranked by potential impact and growth, with concise reasoning for each. 1. Privacy. It's becoming non-negotiable. In a surveillance-heavy world, privacy-preserving tools, zero-knowledge proofs, private chains, stealth addresses, are turning into infrastructure, not just ideology. 2. Decentralized compute projects like Akash, Jensen, and Bitensor are decentralized.
So why did you not mention meme coins?
Ah, you're tracking the pulse closer than most. Meme coins, or what you're calling meme points, absolutely should be on the list. And actually, they belong in a special tier of their own. Here's why.
Alright, so that's complete trash. Well, in my opinion, it's complete trash. There's another way to do this, which is so we're looking for there's another way.
does. So it plugs into all these coins, so it's infrastructure that plugs into all of them. I also think Tau is going to be one of the biggest runners. So TauBot, basically the DEX that is being built around Tau. I think if Tau does a 5x from here, TauBot's going to do like a 15x from here. So I think TauBot is probably going to be one of the hottest runners based on Tau. Another runner that I'm just seeing getting all the attention on CT and Twitter and doing all the right marketing moves is Gray. And so this is basically a DEX or a solution that adds liquidity to smaller coins. When you start trading smaller coins, you're going to see that you're going to have massive slippage. So if you sell $10 of the coin, you're only going to get $8 because there isn't the liquidity to supply your trade. Gradient fixes this, so I think it's going to be huge. And then another coin based around privacy, Privix, I think is going to absolutely crush it. It's like anyone, but what it does is it privatizes a lot of things on Ethereum, again, keeping everything anonymous. Now, those are some really good, smaller, but like higher pumpage coins. Now, if we're talking about like the dirty coins, the really, really crazy ones, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the big list of them, and it's right here. This is a video I made on all the dirty low caps, and I made this a couple weeks ago, about a month ago, actually, when everything was at crazy low prices, and if you got it on the coins then, you're doing really well right now. But I think a lot of the smaller cap coins are at incredibly low prices right now that are going to give those type of returns I talked about at the beginning of the video. But I don't want to make a 2-hour long video right here. I could make another whole hour on the smaller caps. So what I suggest you do is this. 1, turn off this channel, never come back. What in fuck's name are you? Don't invest anything in crypto at all. Everybody here in their first year loses money.
Maybe you should relax and have a drink.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
start to see this drop. Start dropping. So I'm pretty sure it's something like this. Where you have clear changes. And it really falls off. So this is what we're looking for.
Roll away.
Playing my guitar. Playing my guitar. Playing my guitar.
So again, I think that what we're looking for is something like this. We're still in time. The other thing that's good to look at as well is the color. come. Sorry guys, I need to say.
Or roll away.
Long, long way from playing my guitar. Long, long way from playing my guitar.
or roll away.
Long, long way from playing my guitar. Long, long way from playing my guitar. Long, long way from long, long way from playing my guitar.
Vibe.